Terry Fitzpatrick first met Bangladeshis.
I found them very combative in terms of they would act collectively. You could explain to them, you're not going to fight the council on your own. And they understood that instinctively.
We try to mobilize people from this area to feel our deepest solidarity with the brothers in Hackney, right?
The meeting between Terry the squatter and the homeless Bangladeshis was about to change the face of Arnold Circus.
Stop it. What about the police?
Well, they can't touch me, move fast.
This TV drama, King of the Ghetto, tells the story of a local builder who organises Bangladeshi squats in the East End. The angry and reckless hero is based on Terry Fitzpatrick.
There was no plan. One thing just led to another. We'd help a homeless family. They've got some relations. Can we find them a flat? There was never any shortage of a Bangladeshi prepared to squat. Once the thing got rolling, once there was a momentum to it, you could have squatted 10, 20, 30 families a day.
King of the Ghetto tells how Terry organised an unprecedented mass squat with hundreds of Bangladeshis.
Okay, I'll be back in a minute. I want a list of every family in which the flat they're in, alright?
Amazingly, this wasn't all dramatic invention. Around the corner from Arnold Circus in 1976, another Victorian block that the GLC had abandoned was occupied by Terry and 300 Bangladeshis. One of those alongside Terry 40 years ago was Rahim Baksh.
Ajisa, Balasuni.
Oh, Malasi, how are you? It's been a long time. Okay.
I met Rahim in the summer of '76. We just moved the first families in. And Rahim said, well, this isn't very nice, particularly where I'm living. Any flats down there? And there was a one-bedroom flat on the ground floor, and he moved in.
At first, I was a bit surprised because I never heard of anything like that, that people would just move into break, like squatting places. And I thought probably it's not legal, etc.
In 1977, the squat's position became precarious. The Tories won the GLC election, vowing to sort out council housing in London.
Bang on target for victory.
Matters would soon come to a head.
George Tremlett is an unusual Conservative councillor, a man who knows...
George Tremlett, a young, ambitious Tory, was put in charge of the GLC housing policy and became the scourge of the squatters. He soon heard about the occupation near Arnold Circus.
I went straight down, and there were these 60 families, all ages, lots of children, ragged, clearly very, very poor. They didn't have windows or doors, they were just hanging curtains over the apertures and so on. I mean, it was Dickensian, worse than Dickens. And the normal GLC policy as it was, we would have gone to court, got an eviction and thrown them out.
But George Tremlett had other plans for the mass squat.
Do you want to fight 60 homeless families who are living in poverty? I mean, for what? Is that what life's about? I mean, I didn't take on the GLC housing job to do something like that.
Instead of evicting the squatters, George made a complete U-turn in housing policy. He offered to find council flats for every Bangladeshi in the squat.
George Tremlett said he admired squatters because we were entrepreneurial. We didn't wait to sit around to be housed. We went out and did it for ourselves.
The squatters were even offered a choice of where they might want to live.
They said, just draw up a list of estates wherever you want, wherever you feel safe, and we'll offer you accommodation on them. And we were absolutely gobsmacked because they just completely capitulated to everything that we'd been demanding.
Bangladeshis drew a map to identify the area of the East End where they wanted to live. Arnold Circus was on this map.
I remember seeing that. I remember a long discussion about the history of the Jews in the area around here. and how they've been assimilated. We sort of talked about, well, if it worked a couple of generations ago, it could work again.
Within weeks, 60 Bangladeshi families were allocated flats in Arnold Circus and the other council estates they selected.
Everyone was rehoused. The whole building was cleared. I mean, I had a 7.5-ton lorry, and we were up and down here every other day moving families in.
For the first time in his life, Rahim Bakhsh had somewhere he could legally call his own home. He still lives in Arnold Circus today.
When you have your own flat to live in, it's like it's your home, isn't it? I mean, now you're a tenant and you just live there as long as you can.
Rahim's story was just the beginning. George Tremlett had set a precedent. Giving Bangladeshis flats in selected streets, including Arnold Circus, became GLC policy.
GLC officials. The question that...
But some newspapers accused the GLC of building ghettos.
I was appalled. I was appalled, because that had not been in our minds at all. We've had to get it. What I was trying to do was to unwind it and enable the Bengali families in the area to feel at ease within the community. I didn't see it as a ghetto at all.
Housing officers who were opposed to this wanted dispersal. They had leaked the plan to a journalist, and that was the first time the word ghetto was used. We'd never demanded that. All the demands had been were that people lived in safe areas.
It was just, we just demanded safer places where there were other Bengalis living, and I never thought of being in a ghetto or anything.
The ghetto headlines inflamed racial tensions. On the streets around Arnold Circus, violence erupted.
3 or 4 of them punched me, one after another.
These shops were broken by bottles, and they run all the way up here, and here at this point give them a lot of